have a spot to sit?
All right, everybody's got a bucket.
Everybody has to be quiet now. We're ready to start. Put the bucket down, ready to go. Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm Elizabeth. I'm Taylor. I'm Lisa. I'm Christina.
Ben.
And I'm Cole.
And we're the Barnesville River Watch team. And we go around the area, streams and rivers by Barnesville. And we go sample them and see if they're healthy or not. Where do you guys go to check if you're healthy or sick?
Hospital.
Doctor? Yep, we're like the doctors of the rivers in our area. Do you guys know what transparency, being transparent means?
Yes. Transparency.
Yep, it's like you can see through things. So there's like a window is transparent.
Glass.
Yep.
Do you know what lives in rivers?
Yes. Bacteria.
Yep.
Raise your hands. Raise your hands.
Bacteria, and there's also
You was a beetle.
Anybody else? You?
Germs.
Okay. How about some bigger stuff you see?
Beavers.
Okay. Beavers, definitely. Water.
Fish.
Yeah,
Twigs.
here's the big one. What?
Twigs. Ticks.
Do twigs live?
Ticks. Ticks.
Ticks? Maybe?
water beetles.
What else?
Yeah.
Beetles. Beetles. What are beetles? Beetles are.
Beetles are little six-legged insects
Yeah.
that, and some of them can
So
actually,
they're like a bug, right?
yeah, they can swim on water.
And they're on top.
Okay. What else? So we got
Plants, bugs, and
What's that
ticks.
grass
Those are
on?
the main three.
There's
also bacteria and chemicals.
Do you know what plants need to live?
Water.
Yep.
Sunshine.
Yep. What about when your tummy's growling? What do you need? There you go. Yep. That's what plants need. And they also need what's below our feet. Yeah, but
Underneath.
where do you? Yep.
Dirt.
Yep. Perfect.
Alright, do you guys know how far light can travel in water?
Yes.
No,
How
but I have a
All the
guess.
way to the
Maybe like if the water's nice and clean, quite a ways. But if the water's murky, it can't go that far. It can't go that far if it's murky.
Yep. Good idea.
Light can go as far into the water as you can see it. So if it's really dirty, like you said, you won't be able to see all the way to the bottom, so that light does not reach all the way to the bottom. Yep.
And rivers can travel to about 800 to 900 miles long.
There's some pretty long ones, aren't there?
Alright, do you guys know what bugs eat?
Two bugs.
Yep. Good.
They eat dirt.
Some might. You?
Sometimes
bacteria.
Some little stuff. What else? What else do they munch on?
they munch on fleas,
Leaves? No, maybe.
spiders,
Maybe if they're floating on the top.
leaves,
Leaves
Yeah.
munch on what?
plants,
Yep.
There
Perfect.
you go.
groceries, monsters.
Okay, so then do you guys know what fish would eat?
What do the fish eat?
The bugs and some plants and sometimes.
So that you guys list it all. They eat fish, plants, and bugs.
At the top of the food chain there. Alrighty, so obviously sunlight is very important because it kind of is the start of our little web, right? I mean, without sunlight, what wouldn't be able to grow?
Plants.
Plants won't be able to grow if we don't have plants. What can't eat the plants?
The fish and the bugs.
Exactly, no bugs. There's no bugs to eat the plants, so the bugs will go away, and then the smaller fish will be able to eat bugs, so they'll go away. No smaller fish, no big fish. Is there anything living in the river anymore?
No.
Nope, so sunlight is very important.
Alright, so today we'll be using the Secchi tube. We're going to do an activity. Basically, to use this, you want to put your back facing the sun. You want to be able to have this thing all the way up to the top. You want to let it down. You just barely can see the black and white pattern. Then we're going to record what number you get on this. We'll let it down a little more. Hold up so you can barely see it again. And we'll write down that number.
So we're going to get two numbers, and we're going to compare between the fields, because some of them are a little bit dirtier than the others. So we'll see which ones, the cleaner ones, and which ones are more murky. So
so we'll find out how transparent the water
Yep.
is.
So we got 3 groups here with the 3 pails. Looks like we got a pretty big group, so 25. So we'll do 8 per group. So we'll do, how about you 4 right here, and then the 4 in the back will be with me over here.
Okay. You 4 here, you 4 here.
We'll take you
Come on over here.
4 back ones over here.
It doesn't look good for you guys.
Would you guys drink it? Would you drink that water?
That is what. No.
You go right there.
It's the same water. We got that water from this water. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do?
Should we do partners?
Yeah, let's do partners. We'll do.
Okay.
Yep, so find a partner. Okay. There you go, you two. So what you're gonna do, remember, you're gonna find the sun. Where's the sun at right now? Right there? That's a bus, but okay, the sun's up there. Just kidding. So you're gonna put your back to the sun, make sure that it's in your shadow. So this is my shadow right here, so you wanna make sure it's nice and shadowed so we don't get messed up readings. Get your eye as close as you can. You're gonna pull it up to the very tip top, remember? And then you're gonna slowly let down. Your partner will help you let it down. Then you'll tell your partner when to stop. See, I can't see it, so I'd say stop. Then you'd write down your number, and then you pull it back up until you can barely see it. Then say stop, and then you'll write your numbers down.
Do you guys have your journals?
You want to go grab them? Do you have any
Yeah.
journals?
Yes. Journals.
Alrighty. So who wants to be our first partner? Me. How about you two, right? Are you
Since
two
you're right
partners?
there, you might as well.
Perfect.
Okay, so one of you will be the
You have
letter
to put
downer.
your back to the sun though. So put your back to the sun. Okay.
We got pencils too, a bunch of them over in this. You got your pencils? Okay, good.
You guys,
So tell 'em when you
whoever's
can
not
go on,
going,
you see
come
it,
on
let
over
it go.
here so we can give them some space to work. Remember our
We want to
group
see if you
names.
guys get the same numbers, so we don't want you to hear what they got.
You guys write on our group name, I think.
Can you still see it? Yes.
No. Station name, we are transparent. We're not.
So what's the
Right
first
there,
number?
that's how you spell it. So you want to write that down.
22. Yep. Okay, so then switch partners. So now you're gonna come put your back to the sun.
Okay, which page is it?
Just the
The
first
next
one.
open one that you have, or whenever. Yep, you can do it right there. Okay.
So your first number was 22. Yep.
22 what? What's our units?
22. I'd say centimeters.
Yep. That's what we're using on those tubes. Yep, centimeters. Okay, that's your
job.
first one.
Okay, so you come over to
Now you
this side.
switch here.
You're gonna do the string, okay? We're gonna let it go a little bit. Okay, you're gonna pull the string back up. You're gonna pull it until he says he can see it, okay? So tell us when you can see it. You can? Okay. So it looks like you're at 29 and a half. Do you have a pencil? Okay.
29? Wouldn't it be
Oh,
19 and a half?
19 and a half. Good job. My bad.
That's why it's important you have lots of people doing this to check their work.
Good job.
So that we,
catch that.
it's for our group and it's for the people who run this, the water festival. I am a teacher. I'm their
Okay,
teacher.
so now you can go with Ben. You too.
What numbers?
Okay, so one of these things.
22 and 19, that's some pretty good numbers. And a half, whoa, that's pretty specific, isn't it?
Trey.
Alright, do you guys want to write down on our group name we're transparent or not? So write that on, right on top there, your station name,
Our One Direction.
transparent or not. Yeah, our group is One Direction this
Ah,
time.
okay.
We got some fans here. One B fan.
Can we go next?
I think they're going to be next. It's okay. You guys will probably get the best one since you're last. City scientists, kind of like we are, you're gonna, first of all, we have to test the water, right, after making like hypothesis and observing. And then afterwards, we share our results. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So group 92 ponies and dogs are super awesome. What were some of the numbers we got? Anybody from my group? Yep. 18, 14. So that's not very clear, is it, folks? 18 and 14 in that area, that's not very clear at all, is it? So we can see this water is not transparent. Yep.
20 and 17.
20 and 17, 0.5.
19.
Were you in my group? Ah, you crazy kid. You
You jumped ahead.
He jumped it. That's fine.
He's
So, yeah,
excited.
Our numbers are lower in our bucket, probably because the water's what? Clearer or dirtier? Alrighty.
Alright, how about from Group Avengers?
Aw.
Yeah. Can somebody okay, you guys tell us your numbers.
16 and 2.
Alright, anybody else? Did you have?
19 and 7. 21 and 24.
Okay. They're a little higher than the first one, aren't they?
So if the number is bigger, what does that mean? If you can see farther down, does that mean it's getting more transparent or less transparent? I think it's more, right? Yep. The farther down you can go, the more you can see and more transparent. Alrighty. That's group.
Another from our group.
No group name?
Group
Sensational 7. 24 and
24 and 20.
25 and 22.
25.
25 and 22.
Are you Micah? Okay.
So which bucket had the clearest water then?
Us.
Us? What group are you in? Exactly.
So out of these 3 buckets, which one do you think is the cleanest? This one. What? Do you guys think that plants can live in that dirty bucket over there? Or if there are any plants, do you think there's very many of them?
Where do you think they'd be, on the bottom of the river or near the top? Bottom? Even if it's really murky, do you think we'll ever be able to get down there? No, so probably near the top.
More on the top, like algae. What about, what kind of, do you think there's many fish in that one over there? The dirty one? What kind of fish do you think live in the one where they don't have to see it, they don't have much light?
Any ideas? Where fish don't need to chase after other minnows or little fish or bugs?
Any
Kind of
ideas?
just go across the bottom. Just yeah, that's in the ocean.
We're not that deep in the rivers, but
Yep.
Snails?
Snails, maybe, but we're talking about fish right now.
what kind of fish would live in really like dirty water?
Anybody who goes fishing?
Catfish?
You-
Yep.
What kind of fish?
Alright,
there you go.
there's one. How about
What do you get?
walleye? Now, do you think walleyes would live in this one? What's a walleye? Do you know?
Yes. Are they
What you put on your hook? Put little minnows, right? So they need to be able to see those minnows, correct? So they need, do they like murky water then or clear water?
Catfish. I think there's a catfish. The dark one.
Somebody said
Yep,
catfish.
catfish would live in that. What about bugs? Do you think bugs can live in all of them? Most of the time. There actually are some bugs that live in the dirty one too. But where do you think they mostly live? Yep, because there's more plants.
More plants, more food.
Okay. So in the rivers and streams around here, the most way they get polluted is by runoff from fields. So when it rains, it gets all the like fertilizer and stuff from the fields into our rivers, and that's the biggest pollution. So is the Red River supposed to be clear?
It's supposed to be sparkly, clean water.
Or is it, yeah, no, it naturally has the red tint, and that's from clay. So think of it like Kool-Aid. When you put the sugar and the mix together, the sugar is like the dirt. If you don't mix it, it just settles to the bottom, but the color is like the clay. You don't really need to mix it too much for it to have that color.
Yep, and if you want, but just because it's kind of red and tintish and isn't necessarily clear doesn't mean that we should pollute it, right? We should keep it clean, right? Yeah, that's right. So what are ways we can keep the river clean? Don't throw trash in it. Great one. Don't throw pollution. Because honestly, guys, you live in Fargo, right? Yeah. Where do you guys get your drinking water from? The river. So you don't want to be throwing crap in there that you don't want to drink, right? Alrighty. Any other ways any other things not to put in the river?
Paper?
Paper, yeah. Yep.
Lawnmowers.
Lawnmowers, exactly. Lawnmowers, very bad for the river.
Leaves and grass.
Well, that's kind of natural. Those will happen. So, I mean, we can't really stop. We can't catch all the leaves that fall off, right?
Unless you were mowing by them.
But that is a type of pollution because when the grass clippings get in there, okay, that they end up being broken down and decomposed and stuff, by those bacteria, and then what happens is the water will lose its oxygen. Okay, because the bacteria that break it down use up some of the oxygen, and how do the fish breathe underwater?
They don't.
Do they have lungs like us, or what do they have to breathe?
Gills.
They have gills, right? So they take oxygen that's in the water through their gills, and that's how they breathe. And if there's low oxygen levels in the water because of the grass, like you said, and some of the leaves when it breaks down and decomposes, then we have less fish too. So that is a type of pollution.
You had a good idea about mowing your lawn, though. Not mowing it into the river.
Do you have one? Well, soil you can't really help either, because like when the water runs down the banks, it picks up sand and dirt as it goes down, and then it eventually settles at the bottom.
It does make it dirty.
But yeah, it'll make it look more like that bucket way down there.
Yep.
What do you think a lot of the dirt that gets in the Red River comes from?
Or, no,
Dirt comes from the ground.
Yeah. But what do we have a lot of in Minnesota and North Dakota that there's a lot of dirt you could see if you drive around in the summer? Yeah. Okay, corn. What do we grow corn in? A field, right? We have a lot of agricultural fields. There's a lot of farmers around here, and all that dirt, when it rains, some of the dirt gets carried into our creeks, and from our creeks it goes into our rivers. So our rivers naturally are going to have a little bit more dirt in them because we have so many farms.
And if we pollute the river down here in Fargo, the river goes downstream. Who's downstream? Grand Forks. You ever heard of that town before? That city? If we pollute down here, it's going to travel right up the river to Grand Forks, and we don't want to do that to our neighbors, do we? That's not very nice of us, so we should keep it clean for
What does anybody know what towns are that way on the Red? What towns have the Red River pass by them before they get to us here? What? Yep, Breckenridge. So say, what happens if the people in Breckenridge say, well, we don't care, we're going to pollute the water here in Breckenridge. What happens to us here in Fargo-Moorhead?
we get dirty water.
Yeah, so we need to think about the people that are downstream of us, okay, the way that the people in Breckenridge would think about us here in Fargo-Moorhead. They want to take care of the Red River and not pollute so that we get good water. We want to take care of it so that the people downstream from us get good water.
We all share it, so we should all take care of it.
And this river goes all the way to Canada from here.
All the way to Canada through Winnipeg, and it meets up with another river, and then together they go through Canada, and that all eventually ends up in the ocean. It's pretty crazy stuff, isn't it?
So dolphins and
Yeah.
octopus get that one.
Well, yeah, exactly. So the water, like, if it eventually gets down there, and yeah, dolphins and octopuses live in oceans. So